Make sure we got this set. What's up, guys? Good to see you. Hold on. Let's set my camera up here. Oh yeah, I'm using it right, so have to set it. Let's see here. Hey, when I forget to set that up. If it actually shows up. It's not, isn't it? No, it's not. Alright, well. We'll do that in a minute. What's up, y'all? Let me start this call, and we will do this show. Give me 1 second. Let me do this right. I hate that Discord does that. All right, there we go. You guys should be able to see this, I think. There we go. What's up, people? I'm sorry about that small little delay. I'm literally resetting up some stuff for the pod, so my apologies. Anyway, good to see everybody in the chat. Hope you guys doing well. It's been a minute. Look who joined us. Got my good friend Hunter. What's up, brother? What's good? I'm good. You know I'm good. I know. A lot of people are shocked by that. And it's April Fools. But I know. Oh, man. Oh, dude. And the wild part about it, too, is that we got that big... well, I guess you can call it a rumor. I mean, can it be considered a rumor? The big acquisition that's going around for Sony. A lot of people are saying, I see a lot of people putting stock into it. A lot of people are saying From Software. And I was like, I don't think From Software is up there. I mean, granted, they just had a corporate alliance, right, with the company, by becoming investors into their stocks. What with Katakawa? Yeah, they became that. Like 3, I think, was it 10? I thought it was like 10 because no, not 10. It's like, oh, so okay, so they got a little bit of basic stuff. I got you. Oh, my bad, guys. They said they couldn't hear you. Now they should hear you. Say something, Hunter.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
No, that was me on my side. My bad, guys. But
okay.
Yeah. No,
was I muted the whole time?
Yeah, no, it was me. It was my end.
Oh, okay.
We got you. We fixed it. But no, it just I don't know what else to really say about the whole thing. I'm just like, it's a big if. I actually thought we were gonna get hit with a big April Fool's joke today on the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
I really was expecting, but now it's like it's going wild. I do stand by what we said multiple times on the show. I think if anybody's getting purchased, it would be Capcom or Square, if anybody.
Yeah.
In terms of that, I don't think
potentially like licensing some Konami IPs. I don't think they'd actually buy Konami, but I could see them licensing out like Silent Hill or possibly Metal Gear. Probably not. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Metal Gear is the best, like one of the best series ever, but like probably best to put that one behind us. I don't like who else is going to work on it. Konami's not going to work on it. They might make some like pinball games or like pachinko slots or something, but that's about it. NFTs. They might make some 35-year anniversary NFTs.
Oh man, here we go. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat. I see you guys, man. Sorry about the little hiccup I'm sorry. I actually have everything on my desk, like, all over the place. I got to redo it for next show. I know I told them I was going to use it for today's show, but I couldn't set it up in time. But let me go ahead and share this off to you guys real quick and to them that I did plan on doing it. Here is the new equipment from Mono here. This thing is actually pretty beast. We're going to be using that on the show and the content going down the road. I promised them. pretty cool. So shout out to those guys for sponsoring today's episode. We very much appreciate it. All right. And John's already hitting you with the question. Yeah. The big, we got some stuff working on, man. Shout out to Jeff Keighley. Got to speak with him earlier. So that was a pretty awesome feat by itself. So expect Jeff Keighley on the show very soon. So we'll definitely set that up. Can't wait for that. Anyway, shout out to you guys in the chat again. I appreciate it. Now, Hunter, I know they couldn't hear you, so say what's up to the chat.
Yeah, how's it going? We were just talking about all the awesome rumors that are going around this week. Acquisitions, big.
Lot to process.
Sony has like 3 big announcements that, like, I guess one of them half panned out, but wasn't nearly as big as what we would have assumed. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
These insiders, I'm not sure. Like, dude, I wanna like sit beside these folks like at some point, just be like, dude, what are you thinking, man? Like, did you actually know stuff, or are you just making shit up? Or
yeah, I don't know, man. I saw Greg Miller add a little bit to it, but his was conflicting with everybody else's. I was sitting going, okay, this is going all over the place where what could happen and what could not happen. But you know how it is. Let's go ahead and first of all, shout out to Red Hood. Red Hood's not with us today. He's out with his grandparents. He's watching from home. Shout out to Red Hood. I actually almost forgot about it, but shout out to Red Hood 420. Blaze 4K will be joining us momentarily. He's on his way home. But we're here with Hunter, so you already know we're going to definitely talk about this. I don't know if we want to just jump directly into the fire right now, because there's a lot of controversy going around with this new PlayStation Plus tier. I don't know if you want to just go ahead and tackle that. I saw it, and I'm still a little iffy on it because I don't know what's going to be added. Granted, it hasn't really dropped yet in terms of like the content or how they're going to go about it. But they just announced that they got a new tier system for PlayStation Plus. They got Essentials, they got the Premium, and they got the, I guess it's called Pro for it. Let me bring that up. Make sure I got
Premium.
The names right. I know Premium was the last one, right?
Premium was the highest. Essential, I'm just kind of
like basic.
What's the middle one? Essential is it's like the existing PS Plus.
Let me see here. New tiers. Thought I had
second tier is one that adds like the PS4 and the PS5 games.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. So we had Essential, we had Extra, and we have Premium. There we go. So Extra. For the basic one, which is Essential, that's basically what you guys got now, is $60 a year. Pretty much, I think that's where a lot of people are probably going to stay, even though analysts are saying that this is going to boost a lot of revenue for Sony. That's if they jump to the $120 one a year or the $100 one a year, which is the extra tier. And the extra tier, you're going to get pretty much everything that's included in the first one. You'll get a catalog of 400 PS4 and 5 games, including blockbusters, hits from their PlayStation Studios catalog, and third-party partners. Games in the extra tier are downloadable for play. Now, let me hit this with you real quick. You remember the games we got with the PS5 when we first got the box? They were like in the greatest hits type of selection for the PS5.
You're talking about like the 20 games?
The 20 games, yeah.
Yeah, the Essential Collection.
Do you see those games are getting removed and going towards the $100 one? And like they just add on to it? Because I think that's probably what they're hinting at there.
So they've already announced that the PS Essential catalog, the 20 games, is going to be moving into the basic package.
Okay.
So it's gonna. But the one thing that this is like, everyone that's watching this definitely got to hear this. But like Persona 5, I think is in it, and it is being removed. So it's actually going to drop from 20 down to 19. But I believe that you still have like a few days or maybe a week and a bit to download the game. So, yeah, like as long as you add it to your account and you have an active PlayStation Plus membership, you can keep on playing the game. But that's like the one game. I guess they had like an 18-month deal with Atlas, and it's expiring, and the game's coming out. But the weird thing is that they like when they announced it's coming out, they didn't actually announce that any new game was going to come in. So
Yeah, that's the thing
is
too. That's
is
how I
the
kind of
collection going to keep on
figured.
like dropping?
Right. That's what I kind
Could
of
be
figured.
18 games, 17.
Right, exactly. Because I kind of figured they would kind of remove that out because at that point it's kind of pointless to keep those games if you're offering another tier that's going to offer those potentially, unless they're
Yeah,
going to carry over. And these are kind of like a taste, like a teaser, I guess, of what you can
yeah.
get with the basic going into the 100. But
Well, the thing is too is like, because of this Persona 5 thing, you have to probably realize that most of the games have some kind of life deal to it, right? Or like
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
time deal. So I don't did they do 2-year deals, like 2.5? I don't know. But yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah. I don't know how they're going to do this. They said PS4 and 5. So, how you feel about the PS5 games going to this? Obviously, not new day and date because they confirmed that's not going to happen, right? But do you see 6 month grace period dropping on
I'm
this and
honestly,
then
man,
going
I'm
to
feeling like
PC?
super good about this. Like
Mm-hmm.
people, of course, I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I'm getting so sick and tired of people getting mad about everything. Like, holy jeez, man, dude, I like. It's just like, stop getting mad at everything. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, like everybody. The thing is, like, people are like freaking out. Like, oh my god, this is not a Game Pass competitor. This is not nowhere near what I want to be. It's like, Sony doesn't need it to be Game Pass. Sony isn't on. I hate to say it because I like Xbox and I have an Xbox and it's great. But Sony's on a different level, man. Sony is on a different level and they know it.
Marketing and everything. They just got it on
They're
lock at that
you
point.
listen to Jim Ryan, he's like, "Look, our games keep on selling more, right? Every
Yeah.
every game that we release is 10, 15, 20 million now. The bigger and bigger and better games, right? They're becoming like Nintendo where like a lot of their big games just like keep on selling. Like
Mm.
Miles Morales is still hitting the sales charge, which almost never happened for Sony, right? So
Yeah.
they
That's
they they
wild.
don't they don't need day one. I think people like always say these things like, oh, it doesn't affect the quality of games if it goes into a service, and like absolutely I think it does, man. If you look
Yeah,
at
he said that in an interview too, Jim. He says quality will
yeah.
be affected if it goes into a service, which I didn't really think about it, but I'm guessing if we're talking about just like rushing to put it on there, and I guess you fix upon it later type of thing. But then again, are we kind of going that direction because we got 10 games as a service type of games in the
Oh, for
works?
sure.
Yeah,
But
so it's
they've
mm,
already announced that they, like, Jim Ryan says that he thinks that live service games are
yeah,
more of the future than streaming or like services or whatnot, right? So, and
hmm
man, I mean, like, and he just flat out said, he's like, look, like live service games that are a hit, huge ones like Apex
right,
and Destiny, like they basically are a service, which is true, man. Like like Destiny has hundreds of thousands of people that are still playing this game regularly, and it like that's what they do, man. Like I know people on Twitter that every day they're like playing Destiny 2 again, playing Destiny 2 again. And that's what they do, man. So it like they have basically subscribed to a service, which is Destiny 2. So I think that Sony is on the right track in terms of like my thoughts on the PS5 games. I think it's pretty good. I mean, Returnal is like a year old and it's going to be on there, and
hmm
Miles Morales is going to be on there. But what I was saying, like, quit getting so mad at everything so quickly is like we don't even know all the information about these services yet. Like, let's just wait, okay? Let's just, before we're mad, let's just wait like another month or two,
right,
because Sony has not even announced the games that are going to be on this, aside from like
yeah.
4 or 5 games that they just they briefly rhymed off, right? So
Yeah,
they're
I gotta
like
see it
we
before I go over the top and go like, for example, this is better. Let's say the Game Pass or Game Pass killed. You know what I mean? Killed this out because we don't know what's offered yet. I will say though, for the $120 tier, I'm a little bummed by that because a lot of the games are downloadable. But the key ones that we all cared about was the PS3 ones. There's no way to download those. You know what I'm saying? And granted, I would appreciate they had like a team work and get that as an option. I'm not saying go over the top and add like what Microsoft did, where they add the performance updates or all that stuff to the games and buff them up. You don't have to do that. That's kind of like a wishful thinking thing you can do later on, or you could do trophy support. You know what I mean, for those later
oh
on,
for
improve
sure.
them. But you don't have to have that day one. It could be like PlayStation Network when we first got it. Remember how it was like bare bones? We didn't have the trophies, we didn't have none of that stuff until later. they could have done something like
Totally.
that, and I don't think a lot of people would have complained if you at least had that at least as an option. But
Like
how you feel about that, the pro one?
I honestly feel like bringing PS Now into PS Plus is like overdue, right?
Yeah,
So it like to me, this move is absolutely a positive step for Sony. I understand that they
yeah,
still need to beef up the services and get better games on and stuff like that to make it more appealing to a wider audience. But I mean, like, but first of all, like, even just merging all this into PS Plus is a big undertaking, and they're doing it. They're going to roll it out within a couple of months, right? I'm
yeah,
hoping. I don't know, but I'm just hoping. Like we've seen, Sony has applied for patents
yeah,
for back compatibility, which included PS3.
mm-hmm.
So probably they're working on it, right? I don't know if it's actually going to hit reality and it's gonna come out. Like who knows? But
Yeah.
they're probably at least investigating it. Mark Cerny is investigating it. So there's definitely a chance that PS3 downloadable will be in the future, which would be amazing.
That would be perfect
Um,
at this time, especially with the new emulator that just came out for it as well for PS3 games that's going around. You got dudes playing PS3 games on the Steam Deck. See what I'm saying?
yeah.
It
Oh
makes
yeah,
sense
totally.
personally to do it if you
Well,
can.
dude, there's so many. Uh,
Well, somebody's on their phone.
there's there's so many amazing franchises that are like locked on PS3. Like
Yeah,
for example,
this guy plays. Dude.
like well, like Resistance, right? Like Resistance is one of my favorite FPS trilogies.
Yeah, we don't have the
And
complete game on the service.
yeah, like we don't we I want to download the Resistance games and start playing them again because I've been waiting years and years and years for Insomniac Games to like finally remaster these games on PS4 or PS5, but I don't know. I mean, it hasn't happened yet. So,
That's the
but
thing too. Like I mean, I know a lot of people kind of like grown accustomed to the definitive edition thing where you're paying for, I guess, the game again, and it'll have those upgrades that you technically should just get automatically. But I don't think that flows. You know what I mean? For this type of service now, I don't know, man. I feel like it's
I have to
different.
like I have to throw it back at you though. Do
Yeah.
we really deserve to get free upgrades for everything?
I mean, Metal Gear Solid Guns of the Patriots, yeah,
I
it sold itself. Metal Gear Rising sold itself. I mean, yeah, I would think so.
like some of
That's
like so because there's just been like constant discussions about like Sony remastering games and charging you $10 or whatever to upgrade it, right? And it's like, dude, I don't know what like I absolutely see both sides, right? And I really I'm leaning towards like we probably should pay them something, even if
mhm.
it's like $2 or $5 or $10 or whatever. But I totally see the counter argument because I mean like Xbox is doing it, but I think that what it seems like to me though is that the upgrades that Xbox is doing for their games to make their like their Xbox One games upgradable to Xbox Series X.
Yep.
There's a little bit different than what Sony's doing because Sony's not just doing like basic graphics and performance upgrades. They're adding things like haptic feedback and like the resistance triggers and like 3D audio and stuff like that. So they're
Yeah.
actually like they're not. It's not just a simple visual and performance upgrade. They're actually going into the deep dive of the game and like
I mean, yeah. If we're
redoing elements from the ground up,
right, right,
right?
right, right, right. I mean, like we've seen a bunch of games utilize haptics, right? But we've seen it done, let's say, in that minor way, and then we've seen the more advanced way, right? Like if you look at Horizon, how they use the triggers. I would say that probably would be worthy of an upgrade. Like I guess that'd be like I guess I would say that would be worth the price.
Totally,
But if
yeah.
we're talking about minor stuff,
Well, like
like
Uncharted,
like a
like
simple
like the
kind of
Uncharted Legacy had awesome haptic feedback
yeah, yeah.
and
I didn't even
adaptive
play that yet. I
triggers.
haven't even tried that yet, but I heard it was
Yeah.
really 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 good. But
Oh, dude, it's like so good, and the 3D audio is amazing.
mhm,
Like you're in the center of the fights. You hear like enemies around you yelling at each other all the way around you, and you're like you can cut like it actually helps your gameplay too because you actually can tell where the guys are, right?
Mm.
You can hear where they are, what direction they're coming from. So yeah, man, like it honestly, like it improved the experience a lot. And should Naughty Dog spend, I don't know how long, but I'm guessing months, right? Like few months at least. But should they spend a few months putting all these like additional things in the game, and then we don't pay anything for it? I don't know, man. Like, dude, it's these people have families they got to feed too, right? And
Yeah.
if they're putting 4 months into like a solid upgrade, okay, sure,
Yeah.
man.
I'm with.
$10 is like a trip and a half to Starbucks for me.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, some games though, man. Like if I played it a year ago, or like let's say 3 years ago, and we're gonna have to pay another 70 for it, I feel a certain way about that. That's weird.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
to go- you know what I mean? Like,
paying
that's
a
weird.
full 70 for
Yeah,
sure.
that's weird.
I'm just talking about like the $10 upgrades that they have.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because I think they even had it where it was like, even if you bought one of the games, you could get that one upgraded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blaze 4K in here. Over here playing the real life Gran Turismo. What's up?
Listen, I'm running mad late, bro, and I said, dude, I better just jump on Discord and just, because I'm almost home. But listen, you know what I went and picked up, Big Cloud? You would be proud, bro. Look at this. I have to go meet this dude.
There you go.
Come on, baby.
There you go.
Damn.
That's my baby right here.
There you go. How much you dropped on that?
And this. Come on, in box, baby.
How much you? Oh, you went to that spot you were talking about before?
No, this is this guy. He's been like hounding me on OfferUp.
Oh,
I'm like, dude, if it's real, if everything's in box, I'll buy it. He's like, oh, I really, really need the money, bro. If I told you how much I paid for this,
yeah.
you wouldn't believe me.
How much you dropped? Less than 200?
Yes.
No way, less than 200.
Yeah.
Brand new in the box.
I gave him 150 for both.
Jeez.
No,
They're not
fucking
brand
way.
new, bro.
Okay, well,
but
I
they're
mean,
in the
obviously,
box.
it's still in. Yeah, it's still. Yeah,
Bro,
it's
go
not-
look up a Super Nintendo in box complete and a PS1, the mini one. I already got the original one anyway. But yeah, anyway, what's up?
Damn, dude. Jesus.
Awesome, man.
I'm a sucker for in-box items.
Yeah.
I love things in box, old school shit like that. Like I really like my pee gets really hard for that type of stuff. What's up, partner? Thanks for fucking Duckmo GP, man. That shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Kids
Mario
liking it or
Kart,
what?
who? Dude, he played it. He played it for like 15 minutes and he had to go to bed. And then in the morning, I guess I was at work and he asked my girl for the Switch. And she's like, yeah, he likes it because it's so simple.
Nice.
So,
That's awesome.
dude, yeah, thank you for that, for real. Thank you.
No worries, man.
Dude, we just got done talking about the the new tiers for the PlayStation. I know we talked about it on Solidcast.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it? You wanted to give a quick little recap. I know you
Yeah.
you spoke about it for a good minute on Solidcast.
It's like I think a repackage can do a lot for a, you know what I mean? Like it's a rebrand, and rebrands can help,
Yeah.
and it's basically a merger of the two with some added benefits and like what I'm interested. To me, it's really underwhelming, but what I'm interested in is the PSP games.
Yeah.
Being able to play
Yeah.
a PSP game, download it natively to my PS5 is really cool.
Yeah.
Like really
Yeah.
cool. And I have a feeling if Sony sees, if Sony can transfer a majority of the 45 million regular PS Plus, if they can just get half of them to switch to premium or switch to the mid tier. The point is, if they see interest in this and people start downloading these PSP games and there's demand for it, maybe Sony says, you know what, maybe let's double down on this.
PSP. I mean,
Yeah.
Let's try to get PS3 games running natively. Dude, Hunter, I was telling Big Cloud, like, what Xbox did is incredible. Like, for real, when it comes to the back compat, like, games are running on Xbox. You could have the original disc. Not only are they running, you can put in your original disc. They run better, frame rate wise, and they're upscaled to 4K, and they got HDR support. It's like, come on. Like, I would die to play some Metal Gear or some Resistance 1, 2, and 3 kills on one. Like, I would die for that. Like,
Totally, man.
So it's cool.
Yes. Xbox is way ahead in that. I think they have the advantage too because like Microsoft just has unlimited money.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's like with Sony it's just like it's a business thing, right? It's like sure, we could spend millions of dollars to get all these games on, but are we going to see a return? right? I don't think Microsoft even cares about the return.
They don't.
Right?
They don't. They're just throwing money into the service. They're having
like,
fun
dude,
with
they're
it.
just they just like, come on, the $20-30 million it costs to get these games onto Xbox Series X is like a drop in the bucket for them.
You know what it is, Hunter? Like they can afford, like you said, they can afford this shit, but they knew they had to make up ground somehow, right? They weren't going to give you new experiences and new IP, so they said, you know what? While we get this developer shit figured out, while we start acquiring these developers, let's give people this. You know, it's a different avenue, and you know, it's a selling point. And guess what? When I used to get in arguments with these Xbox guys, they'd be like, well, you know, at least I can play from the original Xbox to the 360, to be able to play these games, if you have the original disc, to buy them, like I was telling Big Club, do you know how many like things have to go right? They have to contact developers. Those developers don't even exist anymore. They got to pay for marketing, right? You know, to sell it.
Totally.
Right. Just for the games to run at a high resolution is such a treat. You know, all that shit, and it's really underrated. Like I was downplaying when I would get in an argument, like, I don't want to play those. I bought a PS5 to play new games. What are you talking about? Oh, you know, I'd always say that, but the reality is, I would love to have that on PlayStation. That's just the facts.
Totally.
And anybody that says differently,
it's an option.
They're lying.
Yeah,
the good
exactly.
thing too is
just
like,
be able to
I think
play
Blaze...
Resistance, Blaze, pop in the entire trilogy, go play that. You know, you got the disc. You know, I'm talking about the box. Being able
I got
to
the
play
disc.
in your PS5 and play all those games. And guess what? Let's just say, pipe dream wise, right? You get the trophies. They pop on your PS5, and you can just go from there and emulate the PS3. I mean, dude, that would be perfect for it to make
and
this
Hunter,
work.
Like we said on my podcast, if some random Joe Schmoes can figure it out with the modding community, and there's PS3 games running on PCs right now, and they're running really good at 4K resolution, then why? You know what I mean? If they can figure this shit out, I don't want to hear the sell process. I'm sure there's some variables that go into it, and it might be difficult. But guess what? If Sony knew that this would bring back some sort of investment for them, you know, it's just like you said, Hunter. They don't have unlimited money, so it's a risk for them, and it's a risk they're not willing to take right now. Because if they were, they would have already did it. And Sony and Xbox, you know, especially PlayStation. PlayStation always had the last gen covered. Oh, you buy a PS1, cool. You buy a PS2, you can play PS1. You buy PS3, you can play PS. You know, they always had that variable covered. And I think they thought that, you know, listen, once you get used to something, all right, if you get used to drinking a coffee and a fucking glass of orange juice, you're gonna want to have that every day. Like you're not gonna just say, "Oh, I'll drink water from now on." No, you're gonna.
That's what I have.
That shit.
Yeah,
dude, I'm with it.
Make up some juice, pour the coffee.
Dude, I'm with it. But you know, we'll see.
But here's the thing too. Like this is why people are, you know, a lot of people are like trashing this merger, just saying it's not good enough. But like, here's the thing though. Like we actually have a chance to show Sony, right? Like let's, because exactly what you said, Blaze. Like Sony thinks with like return on investment and all that, right? So because right now PS Now is not that popular. Like, what is it, like 3.2 million or something, right?
Right.
Let's say when they merge it, they triple, they quadruple. Let's say we get like 10 million, 12 million, right? Once we get up to 10, 12 million, Sony's going to be like, look, man, like we're getting significant coin with this. Like we're banking money. Maybe we can actually afford to do stuff like get the emulation running for PS3, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, you know, this is like a good move all around for Sony. And sure, it's not going to be amazing out of the gate, but like there's huge potential in the future. PS5 games, maybe like 6 months or a year after the release, hitting the service, way better than now, where there wasn't any PS5 games. So that's already a bonus. Potential of PS3 games.
Yo, Hunter, you know what the funny thing is? It's like Sony really, when you think about it, right? They got this shit covered down. Yeah. It's the PS3 generation that
it's giving them the most trouble. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They got like, you want to play a PS1 game that's probably your favorite. Chances are it's available for you to get and play. Like you want to play PS2, PSP with the Vita, all that. Like they had that shit covered. It's just the PS3 that escapes them. Like they can't seem to like figure it out, or they don't want to invest it. But it's that one generation that's gonna really like. Listen, they can't just forget about the PS3. The PS3 is just a special generation, man. Like, yeah, they started off on a big hill to climb, but guess what, man? They got that shit and they fixed it. And there's some classics that are still there and people still love, man. It just, they got to figure this shit out, man.
Oh yeah. I do want to say this before shout out to Bladestorm for subscribing, welcome to the channel. But before we move on, I was going to throw this out here too. You know, I was surprised it wasn't really talked about or mentioned for the tiers, and this was something that was going around, was Crunchyroll. I'm surprised nothing for that was going around. Like,
me too.
Some free
I'm
shows
surprised.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, I'm blown away by that. Where was that?
I'm surprised no Discord. I'm
Discord
surprised no
wasn't
Discord.
mentioned. No. Even though I doubt it, but that was kind of like a wishful thinking thing. If you like bought a tier, you would get like Nitro or something. That would have been cool. You can boost your server with them. But
right.
No, that's not included neither. But they did say stuff was coming. They did say more was going to be announced soon. So maybe they're working on that and incorporating. So you never really know. But yeah, as far as that is concerned, I guess we'll wait and see until we get to the next one. You know.
But Big Cloud, like the other thing we were saying too, why if you're PlayStation and you put out the next God of War, you know that you're gonna sell 10, 20 million copies. So why would they put this shit on their service? For what? When they can make the sales at $60, at $70 a pop, and people are gonna buy it. Like they know PlayStation fans are gonna buy their big single player games anyway, regardless. So
unless they're going to do like
cool.
a time limit thing, like it's going to be like remember how we saw the jump to PC is like they dropped it drastically. Remember
after like a year.
Yeah, I think probably what they're going to do is a 6-month basis thing. Like after the games release out there in the market, they can wait 6 months after those games performed. What they're going to do, then they can drop them in the second tier. Because that's what the main thing they're advertising is the second tier for PS4 and 5 games. They could do it there. And then, obviously, they can go to PC. Because they also advertise PC with PlayStation and this tier system. So maybe that's what they're thinking of doing as well. You never know.
Sure, man. It's the whole, like, Sony Pictures theatrical process, right?
Recurring revenue type approach.
Hits the theater, banks 120
6 months
million.
On your service.
Yes, 6 months later, it goes into, like, Netflix or whatever, right?
I can see it. Totally see that.
I don't know. I just want, people that think that this was like a direct response or competitor to Game Pass. Like, if PlayStation, if they really wanted to respond, they would have told us already. Hey, games are day and date like that. Yeah. This is clear as day. So the people that think like, oh, this doesn't even compare to Game Pass. Bro, they're not trying to be Game Pass because if they wanted to be Game Pass, they would have already said, "Look, we'll put the games day and date." They don't. The difference between PlayStation and Xbox is they know they have value in their IPs. Okay, and I'm not saying Microsoft doesn't have value in IPs, but PlayStation knows they got the finger on the button, and they know when they drop a good IP. Listen, like when you think of other companies, new IPs, PlayStation's at the top. Like when you think of new IPs that are successful, like huge new hits. Yeah, Nintendo's got a few, and they might have more technically. If you go down the line, you start looking at all these iPhone games that they ported over. But I'm talking about like big hits. Sony's brought that, so they know people are going to buy their games regardless. There's no reason to put a day and date. There's no reason.
They don't need to, and I know a lot of people want them to because they want to justify $100 to $120 a year for these updated tiers. But they're at that point where they don't really need to rush themselves or do anything of that nature because they're bringing in so much of a big return on each investment. So it's like,
right, dude, that's what I was gonna say. Now that you said investment, you know how Sony came out and said, "Look, we got 10 games that we're gonna bring free to play model, right?" Mm-hmm. Maybe they throw that in there, like, hey, these 10 games. I'm trying to think of something like. Because to a lot of people, they don't think it's enough. And they got a right to think that, dude, because there was so much hype around this shit that, people just, the majority of people are looking at this like, oh, they merged PlayStation Now and PS Plus and added, But, I feel like the bigger picture, it's more than that. But, it's just too early to see what's going to eventually happen with it. But I think the bigger picture, and like you said, Hunter, Microsoft's got enough money to just dump until the shit. Like Game Pass, they're doing this until it works. Eventually, it's just gonna work, and they're gonna be profitable. But
Yeah,
they got the money to do it. You know.
that's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm home. Let me switch to my PC. I'm pulling right now.
All right, for sure.
Well, like, dude, like we were saying with Returnal, I mean, we have never seen Sony drop their big games into a service like a year after it comes out, right?
Yeah.
So Miles Morales is only a year and a half old, right? So they're like,
we're kind of crossing the threshold of getting to that
yeah,
point. Yeah,
we're like, what didn't some of the big PS4 games went into PS Now? I think like God of War went into it for, I think it was like limited time or whatever. But that game was already like 2 years old, right?
Yeah, it was already like stagnant, I guess you can say, in the market at that point, because it was already. Yeah. It's so already, like, the heat blew off of it being in the market, and it sold what it did.
Yeah, so they're shrinking the window, right? Like it's not. Yeah. Maybe in the future it could be 8 months and then 6 months, right?
I think like really 6 months. That's where the period is. Personally, I don't think it's 8.
Yeah, for sure. I think what they'll probably do is in the beginning they're going to be a little bit longer, probably like a year. That's why they didn't announce Ratchet, right?
Yeah.
Because Ratchet is what, like June last year, right? So. They didn't announce that coming into the service. So I think that, they're going to wait the year. So maybe actually this service launches in June. So maybe when it launches, they're going to announce Ratchet as one of their big games that's going to be in it.
I see it. But Returnal was already. I think they already said Returnal was greenlit for it, right? So Returnal will already be in it. So
Returnal and Miles Morales
just in time for the new DLC that just launched for Returnal. If you haven't played Returnal, you can get into that DLC and everything. So
yeah, I think honestly the middle tier is amazing as long as you don't like feel the need to play games on day one, right? Like if I got to wait 12 months to play all the big Sony bangers, okay, like. I'm the type where I have to play them day one, so like I have no problem,
That's why
the
basic tier is kind of for me and for a lot of people, because I don't want to wait. I just go and get it there. But if let's say there's like a heavy month, Hunter, and like there's a lot of games that drop. Like, remember how we had Elden Ring, we had Horizon, we had Dying Light, we had Gran Turismo. And they were back to back. If you have like a very, very busy, I guess, month type of thing, and it was like consistent like that, then I could see the second tier being beneficial, because by the time you get to those other games, they'll probably already be making their debut into that service, and you can just go and get it then, and you wouldn't have to drop as much for it. But somehow I do see that window just dropping, and a lot of people is paying a little less yearly for on games for it, just to get into those games, getting in there and experience them that way. I could see it.
Totally.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think it depends too on whether or not it's like one of their big blockbusters or whether it's kind of like their second tier games. You know what I mean? Like they might wait a little bit longer for games like God of War because they just know that game's going to sell like crazy. But like Returnal, let's admit it, it's an awesome game. It was my game of the year last year. But it's probably is like a tier 2, right? It's not the God of War level. So I could see games like that getting in a little faster, right? Maybe the next Sackboy, right? Yeah. Sackboy's not gonna like, it's gonna be awesome, but it's not gonna like sell crazy numbers, right? So maybe those types of games might drop, 6 months or 8 months after release. But I just think this is such a positive thing all around, even though it's not a Game Pass competitor. I think this like sets the stage, right? This is like now they have their platform. Now they can actually reach 48 million PS Plus users, where before they just weren't all that interested to get PS Now.
Yeah.
And I think there's great potential with all this.
Let's address the elephant in the room here too, Microsoft, because they actually did they didn't really say anything, but this went around. This is obviously reported by Windows Central. It got a lot of traction. A lot of people are talking about it. So I do think there's some truth to this. Just to counter this, they have a family plan that they're working on to counter this announcement. Tell you the truth, I do believe it, because a lot of other like services have it. I think Netflix has one, right? And Disney Plus
Nintendo Switch has it.
Nintendo Switch. So it makes sense to have it now, especially with the state that Game Pass is in right now. I'm not surprised by this at all. I know a lot of people are going, is this the response to the PlayStation announcement? I think more so this would be kind of like a jab at them just for now, because, you know, the big thing they took away from this was like, hey, guys, did you know they actually put this around? People said this is a response, but did you know that Game Pass allows you to play new games day and date on the service? So now they have a family plan for it. What's your take on it? You know, long overdue, would you say?
I mean, it's obviously great news. I think that if anyone's going to do it, Microsoft would. I think Microsoft would do it before Sony would. So totally makes sense. I think that, yeah, like they obviously, like, because even like the day that Sony announced their new Spartacus, Xbox Game Pass was like basically trolling them on Twitter, just saying like, oh, like we have options, we have like day and date, we have indie games day and date, like, right? So obviously, like, you know, they are a little friendly, we can see on Twitter, but they're also still rivals. So I could see them doing that. I think that it just absolutely makes sense for them to go ahead and do that. So will it drop around when the new PlayStation Plus launches? Sure, why not?
Yeah,
I think it just, that's the perfect time for Microsoft to do it. And like, when you think about it, actually the top tier for PlayStation, the premium is 120 a year.
Yeah.
That's the same, I think, as like the basic for Game Pass, right? Game Pass is like what, $10 a month?
$10
right?
a month.
And then 15 for Ultimate. So yeah, like, absolutely, it just makes total sense, and I could see it happening. And
yeah, especially if the price is going up. I'm not sure if they're doing that, but if they're doing a family plan, then probably pricing is increasing on that eventually.
Plus, Microsoft is all about engagement too, right? Like, that's
Microsoft and these guys on, like, look, you know, I'm so sick of like Twitter's a cesspool, man. Like, you see these guys posting shit, and it's like, bro, Microsoft, you guys got the bronze medal 3 generations in a row. Like, my thing is, like, these guys like will come at you and like, and post all these Gran Turismo. It's like, bro, relax. Like, see, I swear, people talk like they've been winning. Like, you know, they're this historic franchise. You know, like the Patriots are like, you guys have been in 3rd place since I can remember. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I hate to just switch the topic. I'm just so sick of this whole like, well, it's not this and it's not that. Like, bro, what comparison here? Like, you guys acquired all the studios and you still have nothing. All the money, all the Game Pass talk, all the acquisitions, and I still haven't seen anything new. Like, there's still, like,
that's the thing,
you know, and
you have to wait for that for those.
We have to wait until E3. Well, E3's canceled, so what's up now? Like, I don't want to hear this shit no more, dude. Well, you have to prove it. You got to prove it to people, all right? Like, Xbox is like, fake it until you make it. Like, oh yeah, we're good, man. Don't worry, the games are gonna be great, man. You'll see. They'll be like, bro, this is like, the community don't trust you. Look at your fans trust you. I don't know why, but when it comes to the PC guys, the Nintendo, the PlayStation, we're looking at like, I don't know. I don't care how many guys you bought, you know, because usually when Xbox takes over, it comes out, you know, and you hear all these things, Perfect Dark. Like, what's the issue with this? Like, what's going on?
I don't know
like,
what's going on.
How hard is it to get Perfect Dark, like an N64 game? How hard is that to get up and running? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry. That's my rant. It's over.
By the way, Blazer might be going, oh my God, is Blaze over the top? Well, Blaze actually owns an Xbox. Yeah, he has everything on the side of him. He has an Xbox, all that stuff. So he's very passionate about the
I have multiple Xboxes. I have more Xboxes than the Xbox guys.
Dude.
Still wait for that a certain thing
that is
to get sold in half, by the way.
That is like totally my situation too. It's so funny because like, yeah, of course, every now and again Xbox guys come to me and I'm like, dude, I own the OG Xbox, I own 360s, I own Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X. Like, dude, I have the Gears for Xbox. Like, I just bought this. I have like 4 of them. I've got an Xbox Series X. But it's like, and here's the thing too. It's like, dude, like,
you got a lot of doors, Hunter. You got to hold your door open somehow. Go ahead.
Shout out to Medino. What's up, brother?
Yeah, like, it's really funny when I'm like, because half the time you just know, you're like, dude, like, these guys that are arguing with you, it's like, dude, 100%.
They don't put that much
100%. I played more Xbox games than you. I own more Xbox consoles than you. I put in more hours. I've got a higher gamer score. I've almost got like it's not nothing like super to brag about, but I've got 50,000 gamer score for Xbox, right? Which
Yeah,
is
that's double the amount of these dudes on Twitter, bro. Listen, if you're on Twitter
like
every day, you're not playing
yeah.
games.
Yeah,
Facts.
for sure.
That is the facts.
If I mained on Xbox, I'd have 200, 300, 400,000 gamer score, right? So yeah, like sure, it's not as high as people who game 24/7 on Xbox, but like yeah, I certainly have more gamer score than half the people, or 90% of the people that are argue with me about Xbox being the best.
Oh man! And speaking of that too, even though I'm not surprised by this was going around. We were kind of debating this a while ago, and we called it, right? That's if it was going to happen. E3 has been canceled for this year, and the wild part about this, a lot of people are kind of like brushing it off, like, well, it's not needed, and I can't believe we're having that conversation for E3. E3 was the Super Bowl of gaming at one point.
It is needed. Look at even if PlayStation's not there, I still look. This shit sucks, bro. I don't not even like the Corona shit. Look, I used to love watching E3. Not okay for the conferences, right? You get excited, right? Then you have a show, you talk. But it was the after shows. It was like them sitting down with the developers and you seeing like a little sneak peek of what they got. Like I remember watching the Dead Islands, like just seeing like behind closed door footage that they hadn't showed yet, and they talking about the game and developers talk. I used to love those little GameSpot, like where they would just sit down with, hey, now next in line is Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog, and they come by and they sit and they talk, they show footage. I missed that shit. That's what I like. Now it's like, bro. Why can't you have a digital show? What's the issue? Like, I don't understand. Like, whatever.
I don't know what it is.
Dude,
it's the
management.
It's the community. Yeah, it's the management. They don't want
the management.
Remember, I keep throwing this around with them. I'm like, dude, why not just do what Jeff Keighley did, where you have like a digital event, you make it more, you add some to the presentation, make it look cool, and just go that route. But also add a theme to E3, move it around instead of having it in the same area. Why not just move it? Have it be like WrestleMania. You move that joint around, and you.
They used to do that.
Yeah,
like not as much as like they. If you look in the history, it's been I think at least 3 different locations.
Yeah.
But yeah, they used to. But I just think like they've tried so many different ways to revitalize it, but it's always just not worked out the way they want to. Like they started adding fans. It used to be just like an industry trade event, right, where it's just like media and buyers and sellers that would go, and then they added fans, and then they added more fans, and then suddenly like because I went back when it was just like a media show, and you just go from like appointment to appointment. You go as fast as you can. There's no lineups. It's amazing. But the last few years, man, it was like you have to fight your way through crowds, and it takes you like triple the amount of time. The other thing too is the LA Convention Center is like the worst place to have it because there's 2 different like main halls there, but they're separated by like a 10 or 15 minute walk in the middle. So if you have appointments between the two, you got to like I
know what it was, Hunter? They needed to make money. E3 was losing money probably, and they said, you know what? Let's charge people for tickets. Like they made money, and I'm not saying it's not a bad thing for me to go there and see Hunter and say, hey, well, Hunter, what's up? Hey, like it was like a community thing, but like, is E3 necessary? No, it's not because you can still look at still to this day when they showed off God of War with the fucking violins. And you know what I mean? Like, nobody knew what it was. And boy, and he comes out from the shadow. Like, that's what E3, like, that's what the shit I'm going to remember for E3. Like, them showing off the PlayStation. Jack Trent coming out saying, hey, PS4 is $399. Like, those are, like, the cool memories. But they don't even want to do conferences anymore. Everything's digital. It's just lazy. It's, like, too much money, too much. And, like, you used to see these shows, man.
It's scary, though, because Sony had pretty much the biggest reaction of all time for a reveal. And that was all digital. I'm talking about the PS5 reveal. It's still, like, on some real, that's still one of the most epic reveals for a console, just by the way they did
it was awesome.
Transitions. But it's like, damn, you look back at E3 and you're like, imagine how it would have been if it was live, at a show. Would it actually hit the same if it wasn't digital, with the little, I guess the little marbles that was like pulsating and turning into the console in the way.
Big Cloud.
It's like,
for us, for me and you, it's always going to be digital. Regardless if they have a physical show and they're there, we're watching it the same way. We're going to consume it the same way. It's digital for us regardless. We're watching the video feed of that when they show the PlayStation and boom, and it pops up. Like it's still the way we consume it, whether E3's there or not there. It's the same shit. Whether, you know what I mean? Like, it's still a digital show that we watch online regardless. Unless you're going there, that's the difference. True. But I think, you know, Sony should definitely come out and say, look, this time of the year, we're going to have... I really think they need to get it together. Like, if you're going to do a digital show, fine. If it's not going to be E3, fine. Let E3 die. Who gives a shit? But what I'm saying is, that format, that time period in June, July, whenever the fuck it was... You know, it was just, it was something to look forward to. Like, oh, let's see what, you know, what third-party deals they made, and let's, you know, I feel like they still need to do that.
The good thing about all of this is that the Summer Game Fest is going to be back on again, which is great with Jeff Keighley. But the thing is, too, is, like, you have to realize that all these publishers, they need to get their announcements out around E3 time, like June, July. Because the thing is like, this industry, I know, like, games come out any month, you know, any day of the year now, but, like, the majority of the revenue, the majority of the game sales, console sales, everything still happens during Q4, right? It's the holiday season. The holiday season is the big thing. So every company needs to have their one or two big games that come out in the fall, and so they have to reveal them at this point, right? Like, So yeah, like, I wish the spectacle was back, but at least, like, the publishers are going to be forced to have some kind of conference because they got to show us their big game that's going to be coming out this fall.
I agree. I agree with both of you. Good points. Well, there you guys have it. E3.
I mean, Big Cloud. Have you ever watched the God of War documentary? You guys ever seen that?
Oh yeah, of course I did. Raising Kratos, that was awesome.
Right. So you see. You see Corey, and he's, like, all nervous. Like, dude, like, fuck, why? We need more time. I'm not ready to show this off. Like, that shit's stressful to these guys. So they probably like that. They don't have to present something and have it ready for this certain date. Like, they probably really like that. But
I agree,
the feedback they get once they do present it is all worth it in the end, I'm
they're
sure.
like superstars. Like, remember the way the orchestra welcomed to the stage, like Sean Layden coming on the stage. He's like, oh, my God, this is the most amazing thing ever. Or, but the thing about that, too, though, and I'm glad you said that, they need to have something working. You guys remember how Assassin's Creed looked when we first got it, the reveal at the PS4 reveal at E3? You remember that? It was glitchy, and, like, they had different animations and whatnot. Or the Batman Arkham
Knight. The Watchdogs that was like
there's that one.
A gen ahead of where it was actually.
Who we're never gonna get.
Let me play that Watch Dogs version of that game, please.
That's sad. Never got that.
That shit looked crazy.
The Arkham Knight joint, though, I remember it was supposed to do like a cut, right? It was supposed to be like this glitchy cut, but then it froze. Like, it was making this weird noise, and then it just, like, fixed itself, and then we're at a cutscene, and it showed Scarecrow. So they had, like, a lot of hiccups in games at shows, but come on, the Spider-Man reveal, guys, come on, come on.
Sony had better do something in the next few months because, let's be honest, man, they're holding back so much. They're holding back. We know of Wolverine, Spider-Man 2, God of War.
Yeah.
What else do we know about? What else is coming? Like, we know of games that are announced, like Haven is working on something and Deviation is working on something. But, like, dude, they're working on, like, what is it? They mentioned 25 games are being worked on right now, right? 25, and we knew of, like, a handful of them, right? Like,
Firesprite is not making it's not making that Wipeout game that I thought they were going to be making, right? That's Studio Liverpool. No, they're actually making a horror game, guys. It's going to be like a story driven. I'm like, holy shit. Okay, that threw me off guard. So
I want to know what Blue Point's doing.
Well, they work on the Persistent, which is awesome. I don't know if you guys played that game, but that game was really good, and it is like, it's like Dead Space, man. It's like Dead Space VR. Yeah, no, I'm not like overhyping or overselling.
You already got me hyped just by saying that, because we got Dead Space coming out soon, and we got the Callisto Protocol. You forgot about that. Yeah. That's from the original team. They're making that. That's like the spiritual successor of Dead Space. So, dude, there's a lot of shit to look out for.
Blue Point's making a Souls game, man. I feel like they're remastering Bloodborne or some shit like that. This is my dream. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can see it. I could definitely see it because it's been talked
They
about.
don't need a
multiple times.
remaster, but maybe they. I don't know.
That was the
Like,
first
when
thing I
you-
was talked about, though. A remaster and then a sequel, right? Or a remake and a sequel. So that might be their project from Bluepoint.
Yeah, when you look back at Sony's console histories, usually around like between years 2 and year 4 would be like the where the biggest E3 bombshells happen, right? So we're just beginning. Like we're on the cusp of like these 20 games that we don't know being announced, and half of them are gonna like, our jaws are gonna be like, what? You guys are working on that? Bloodborne?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, they had better do something like, by this summer for sure.
I hope so. I really, really hope so. I know I have Kojima Productions up in here because, well, we were talking about earlier about the insiders and all the stuff going around, the big acquisitions. I figured, why not throw this one out here, because the studio is actually relocating after 5 years in Tokyo. They're actually relocating. I didn't see where they're relocating to, but, relocating, big talks of acquisition. What y'all think? Kojima Productions, PlayStation?
Well, the first thing I'll say about this is, like, I'm shocked that Kojima didn't say where he's going to. Like, Kojima is like, he's like the first person,
I'll tell
first
you,
game
I'm
dev
going here.
that'll like, will take a photo of,
Yeah,
like,
he's mad transparent.
the
You're
entrance
right.
door.
Uh-huh.
The entrance door, and like, oh my god, like, I look at this new like renovated space, and here's me sitting down out having a coffee and making a new trailer. Like he's like the first dude that does that.
He loves it.
And it was like so ominous, and like, what are you doing? Like, what he's tweeting all these photos of him saying goodbye, and he's so sad.
He'll take a picture of the forest, and he's a master at doing that, because Blue Box Game Studios. Y'all remember those guys? I don't know what's happening with that studio or that game, but no, he was quick when it came to certain like pictures. You remember he was taking pictures of like the forest and whatnot, and it was like contrasting with their game supposedly. So I don't know. I don't know, man. He's on another level when it comes to advertising his stuff, hyping it up. So
yeah, I don't know, man.
Blue
Weird. I don't know, because like the thing is that I don't think it's going to be an acquisition, because you can't give out hints like that. Like legally, you can't tell people in advance of acquisitions because of insider trading and all this stuff, right? So like.
True.
Would he just like advertise that he's moving to another company? Like, I don't know, man. Like I feel like
but a hint is not like a
Not
hint is a
definitive,
hint.
yes,
It's not
yeah.
like a
Not
but it's still but like we're talking about it, so it obviously raised the question.
That's true.
Right?
I mean,
That's
you can
right.
flip it, but as he said, she said type of thing, though, regardless, even though us talking about it, because it's neither confirmation nor a deny. So it's
I don't know, man.
It flows in the middle. It gets away with.
It just seems weird, but Kojima's a weird guy. Like we never saw that for any other acquisitions,
but
right? You don't see like I don't know, like Bungie staff like posting pictures that they're renovating part of their office like the week before Sony buys them or stuff like that, right? Like I don't know, man. I'm gonna guess that he's just relocating to a bigger office. Maybe like I'll give it like a 10-20% chance he got acquired.
Okay.
I think it's more like
he needs to get acquired. Like, really, like, just come on home, dude. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
He admires his freedom, and then I love that he is getting that. He's getting the proper treatment and whatnot while working. But personally, I think
he'll get that from Sony.
You might as well just come home. The PlayStation,
right? He's had freedom,
like,
bro.
dude,
He's been a multi-plat guy.
Yeah.
Like look at what Deviation Games has said, and look what Jade Raymond says. This is the thing that I just love about PlayStation. If you actually read all their interviews, they constantly say that Sony gives them such creative freedom, flexibility to do whatever they want. They understand the creative process. They know how to nurture the creative process from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Right. To me, from an outsider, having never worked in a development space, it seems like Sony is like the match made in heaven, man. Like the perfect place where you can unleash your own creativity. And so what better place for Kojima, who like, that's the one thing that he needs. Like, he needs 100% creative
if he needs
freedom.
more motivation, look at Bungie.
Yeah.
Sony went and paid extra just to maintain the employees there, but they're also giving them the full freedom to be multi-plat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, and think about it this way too. What are the biggest passions of Kojima outside of video games? Movies and music. He's always tweeting about the songs he's playing.
Death
the
Stranding
famous
TV show, man.
Right?
You know he wants it. You know he wants
Yeah,
it.
like what better company than Sony that has Sony Pictures, that has Sony Music? Like think about how many actors he would have access to that he may not have now, and think of all the music that he could leverage in his games, right? With being a full partner of Sony. It just seems to me like such a natural fit.
You know what it is though, Hunter? The guy why he maybe wouldn't, and this is just my speculate, like if he needs anything from Sony, they're gonna assist him. You know what I mean? Like anything he asks for, I don't see Sony saying, "No, we can't, man.
Yeah,
you know, get on board or we can't." Like they're gonna assist him regardless. So he looking at it like, I have such a strong relationship that I don't even need to be with him. I could just, you know.
Yeah.
But again, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, the other thing that I was thinking about too is maybe I got to look on like Wikipedia again, but he's like getting up in age, right? Like he's in his 50s, I think now, right? So we're probably like, you know, we might have like a few more games from him, depending on when he retires, right? Like we may be coming to the end of Kojima games in another decade or so, right? So so that's another thing too, where he just maybe he's just like, screw it, man. Like I'm gonna retire in 8 years, like.
Yeah, but even with video game, like it's not like his brain is always going to be brilliant. It's not like he's doing physical where like, oh, I can't take, you know, maybe he's tired, you know, mentally, but you know, that's the good thing about video game development. You're not, you know.
Yeah. Well, you want him to work until he's like 80.
That's the thing about being a director. I mean,
Miyamoto is doing that too, right?
I'm gonna say, that's the thing. Like it really depends on him and how far he wants to go and his creativity. The dude is really forward thinking when it comes to what he wants. Like even Tommy Earl Jenkins said this, especially. Yeah. So the dude, he has a vision. If he has a vision for something, he's very ambitious about it.
Dude, he's a fucking genius, man.
Yeah. So I think wherever he goes, he'll be perfect. But what he did for the Decima engine, I think a lot of people should really take notes of that too. The Decima engine, especially when you see in Horizon. I ain't gonna lie, man. I would love to see him tweak some other stuff over there at PlayStation, especially, you know, get more out of it.
What do you mean? He should be thinking, you know what I mean? Gorilla. That just goes to show you how versatile that engine is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sony needs Kojima because Sony loves big games and big games that have huge star power to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even though Death Stranding probably wasn't like a smashing success, not in comparison at least to like, you know, Ghost of Tsushima or like the other games.
Yeah, but it's a niche game.
It made a niche game that made a good impact in terms of like
reception. But think about how like the conversations we've had about Death Stranding. We're still talking about Death Stranding.
And predicted
Death Stranding is. It's like and like but having like Norman Reedus, like having like somebody like that be sort of like the face of PlayStation for 2 years and their advertising is huge for them. So yeah, I can't, because there's always rumors of like Kojima working with Xbox and like working on his own stuff. Maybe, sure, but Sony them definitely have contracts for something.
Oh yeah,
they have to.
That's facts. Absolutely. All right. I said this on Twitter. This is going to be like a 60-minute episode. I know a lot of people are going, why 60? Well, because I want to set up some stuff. I got to take my PC apart, the whole 9 yards. That's why I wanted to do that. I didn't want to go super long, but good show, guys. This was great. Everybody brought the heat. What's up?
You think we're going to have a show without bringing up Elden Ring? We're all in.
Oh, you
no, but I'm just playing. So do you got the platinum, Hunter, and what trophies do you need? Just curious.
Oh yeah.
No, okay. So I just need 3 trophies. Okay. I need 2 of the endings. I've decided that I'm not going to save Scum, and I've actually decided that I'm not going to on my second and third plays, I'm not just gonna rush it. Like I wanna re-experience Elden Ring in its like entirety.
Okay.
So I don't think I'm gonna platinum this game for a while because of those two endings. Probably another 150 hours I got to put into it. And then the other one is just the legendary weapons. I need that one legend. The one weapon from the the Imperial City.
All right, you stick around. We'll get that
so
right now.
just drop me that sword.
We
I've got that
got
trophy.
you.
And then I just got two more endings to get.
We got you for that, guys. Do me a huge
Everybody
favor,
misses that.
button. Oh yeah. Do me a huge favor. Everybody hit that like button. I want to say shout out to everybody in the chat for coming through. Great show. Awesome. Very, very awesome. And big shout out to the sponsor for today's show. I'm going to have to test it all out next one. And obviously next week we'll have all that stuff set up. But shout out to those guys over there at Mono. Big thank you to, of course, the one and only Blaze 4K and Hunter for coming through. Shout out to Red Hood. He's out of town again, like I said earlier. Let's go ahead and do these outros, man. Blaze.
Hold on a sec. Yeah. Good. Come to me. There's 100 people. Can you get this? How hard is it, people, to put your mouse or click on your iPhone? Just click that like button. How hard is it? Can we get that to 50 or something? God damn, like the simplest thing, bro. The simplest. Anyway, great show. Yeah, sorry I'm late, dude. That's just what it is when you gotta run around and be super dad. But
and buy that console.
Yeah. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to. But
yeah, there's not something for that one.
When he told me the price, I'm like, all right, this guy's
pulling your leg.
He looked like he's like on his last leg anyway. So I'm like, all right, buddy, here you go. Before he changed his mind. But anyway, I appreciate it. Hunter, appreciate you, my guy. Bit, you already know. And yes, we'll stick around. We'll get this. We'll get this for you.
Tell myself,
chat.
Weekly.
Hit the goddamn like button, chat. There we go. 42. You see that? Big Cloud, you got to demand that. You can't just be like, guys, if you could hit the like button for me, that'd be great. You've got to yell at these guys. They don't listen. Anyway.
You want to yell at everybody? I demand it now?
Yeah, solid cast every Wednesday now. It's not bi-weekly anymore. I'm doing it every week. Blaze, you got to be more consistent, Blaze. You just must not care about your channel. Okay. Every Wednesday. There you go.
There you go. We got a lot of stuff in the works, but I'll explain that in a minute. Also, you missed my last video. Your boy Big Cloud's officially back to uploading, so expect some consistent content from yours truly. Finally, I'll be dropping that for you guys. So make sure you guys check that video out. I appreciate it. I dropped it late last night, but it's already did pretty good. So shout out to
we got to talk about that too.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
You know about YouTube algorithm, right, Big Cloud? You're not doing any favors for yourself by dropping it at 10 o'clock at night, man.
It wasn't even 12. It was at it's like 8.
9.
It's like 8.
Bro, I've seen your you got a post during the middle of the day. I've seen your numbers before. Like your best from 12 to 4 in the afternoon.
No. I gotta get back on that. Okay. We'll get on that consistently.
Look at that, 53 likes. All right, anyway, go ahead, Hunter. Sorry.
Hunter. Tell people to find you.
Dude, it was so funny because just yesterday I posted a picture of me at E3, and I had a bunch of people that were like, "Oh my god, this is the big Hunter face reveal!" The moment finally happened, and I'm just sitting back here thinking what are you talking about? First of all, I've tweeted probably hundreds of photos of me in the past, and then I'm it just reminded me I gotta advertise this podcast more, because how do people think that was the first face reveal? Dude. I'm on the podcast every week. This is what the face looks like.
Hunter, if I were you, bro.
Oh, man.
Hunter, you know what you got to do to get people to come to this? You got to clip yourself talking about Sony for 5 seconds, and I guarantee, oh shit, he really, you see him on camera and everything, because people they just like shit, man.
Totally. I gotta for sure. I just gotta do stuff like that, and tweet the show out a little bit more, because people for some reason thought it was so surprising. Oh my god, I finally know what you look like, dude. I was
oh Lord.
I gotta see that.
But guys, so check me out on Twitter, NextGenPlayer, and man, I'll be here next week. You guys are the best. Blaze, man, always good to chat with you. BitCloud, you're the man. Congratulations again on IGN and the sponsorship and all this. Jeff Keighley. Man, you got some good things cooking.
Yes, sir. Jeff Keighley, man, we got to talk to him earlier today in Twitter Spaces, so we're gonna set that up for you guys. I don't know when. Well, we'll get the. I'll let you know. You'll know as soon as we get the day set. I'm hit him up probably Monday, see if we can set up something. All right. But I appreciate everybody who came through. I really do. I know I've been away for so long. I even said that in my video, but it's good to be back to content creation. Let me tell you. Also want to shout out vidIQ for the interview. Because I was interviewed by them a couple days ago, so that was awesome. And, of course, IGN, the whole 9 yards. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be easy. Y'all enjoyed the rest of your weekend. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys on the next one. You guys be blessed. We out of here.